Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my love. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm super excited that you're here with me today. I am doing a crap ton of work out of a borrowed office in my husband's workplace today. So very different day for me to kind of like hear the sounds and movements of all the things happening around me. And it's a little bit distracting. I'm not going to lie. You might hear me just like popping on some headphones just to kind of block some of the sound out of the background, but it shouldn't pick up on the microphone at all, which I'm excited about. I have been just getting shit done like a motherfucking boss today. It's always so interesting when I come and work remotely because, of course, I'm not at all in my usual space. Internet speeds will vary throughout the day. And my concentration is just different. There's a lot of other things happening here. So I feel like I have to almost work harder to concentrate, which is not great when it's like 30 something odd degrees outside and it's Friday and we're getting ready to go to the lake. And I'm just like all the weekend vibes. So couple of just very quick things. I have the registration page open for my next workshop. I'm super fucking excited about the next workshop. It's called Unfuck Your Money. It's a 3-day workshop, the same as the last one. I just want to clarify when I say 3 days, like we're not doing like 3 8-hour days. There's no fucking way. First of all, I know my value. There is zero way that I'm going to be teaching free content for 3 8-hour days. That's just never going to happen. Okay. So like, let's just be clear about that. But also, who's got the time for 3 full days, right? No, we'll be spending less than an hour together every day. The workshop kicks off August 13th, 14th, and 15th. And we're going to do a slightly different time where it's going to be 4 p.m. Mountain Standard, which is 6 p.m. for my Eastern folks, 3 p.m. for my Pacific folks, and like 11 p.m. for my European folks. All right. So just kind of a quick heads up on that. We're going to be talking about really just like how to unfuck your money. So we're going to talk about limiting beliefs, going to give you some powerful reframes on limiting beliefs the first day. Second day, we're going to be clearing a common limiting belief together. So I'm going to walk you through a simplified version of the process of like how to clear a limiting belief. Why is it simplified, Amy? Why aren't you giving me the whole process? Because when I sit down to like work on a limiting belief clearing, it sometimes can take me like up to 90 minutes. We don't get that time together. All right. So I'm going to walk you through the simple process of like how to clear a limiting belief. And if you attend it with me or you register and you get the replays, I can almost guarantee that like simply tuning in with me is going to rewrite that belief for you. All right. Now, why can I not 100% guarantee it? Because you might not be fucking paying attention. Gotta be with me to actually get the clearing, right? And then day 3, we're going to be talking about how to become financially unfuckwithable. I've borrowed this from the end of the Building Vampires program, where the last module is all about really grounding into that financially unfuckwithable energy. I'm really super excited about this workshop. So get your buns registered so you don't miss a minute and you're going to be there with me. To register, go to amyvanmeel.com/workshop. I've also decided to simplify my life and to simplify your life. And so I don't have to be like constantly going, okay, what URL did I use for this? And what URL did I use for this? I am simplifying my life. And from now going forward until something changes. Um, all the URLs for my workshops is always going to be amyvanmeal.com/workshop. The only reason that you would maybe care about this is if you're listening to this podcast episode and it's like a year down the road, 6 months down the road, 5 years down the road, and you're like, damn, I can't get into anything. That URL doesn't work. It sends me to a dead page. Now that should solve that. Okay. So you'll get routed to whatever workshop is upcoming. Yeah, so you'll always have access to it. So yay for that. So yeah, anyway, definitely get in, register for the workshop. I'm super excited. I'm going to start actually like writing the content for the workshop next week. There is no fucking way I'm going to sit down and write content today for the workshop because my brain is starting to melt. And you're probably going to hear that a little bit throughout our podcast episode. Now, there's no, I want to say like rush for me to record a podcast episode today. But oh my goodness, I have just been feeling your vibes all day. And I wanted to clear off the tasks that I had on my list. I wanted to get that registration page up. Oh, also very quickly, I have a brand new, oh my God, fucking awesome manifestation bundle that is only available when you register for the workshop. It's $11, super approachable. Try to keep things that way. Inside the bundle, you get 3 really fucking powerful tools. First thing you get is the Askformations audio. Basically, we take some really powerful money affirmations, we turn them into questions. You basically just repeat after me. It's set to music, super like juicy. Then you have a visualization meditation. Like I was so lit up when I was writing this meditation. It has 100% come through in flow. All 3 of the items in this bundle have come through like 100% in flow, which just means it's like straight from source and it's the juiciest fucking stuff you can get your hands on. So the meditation visualization, I lead you through a really, really powerful process that directly accesses your subconscious mind and gives it a very clear picture of what you're creating so that your subconscious mind now has instructions and can begin creating it for you, because that's your subconscious mind's job, by the way. And the last piece is a money hypnosis. So the money hypnosis is actually what I recorded first, and I've sent it off to a few friends I said, I need some help testing this. Can you just like test through this? We had some like the differences between Apple and Android will probably forever continue to frustrate me. When I send it to my Apple friends, it just like sends as a text message. When I send it to my Android friends, it like sends part of it. So then I have to email it. It's a whole thing. Anyway, the hypnosis is really, really powerful. I will be sharing some of their feedback once they complete. I've asked everybody to listen to it one day at a time for a week and then let me know what they've noticed. So I'll keep you posted, but I've already done it twice. I feel like have I mentioned it's been kind of a full week? I think I've done it twice, and oh my goodness, it's so funny to me. Like when I write and record a meditation or hypnosis, it takes me a few goes to get out of the mindset of like, I'm like checking it for mistakes and making sure it works. And do I sound like a weirdo? Right? So it takes me a second to just kind of get over that and be fully immersed in the experience. But even that said, like the second time I listened to it was fucking groundbreaking for me. So those 3 really, really powerful tools are available as an upgrade when you register for the workshop. So there's like all kinds of juicy reasons for you to go register for the workshop. The URL is in the notes, of course, but it's amyvanmeal.com/workshop. Get your buns in there. I lost my train of thought. There was a reason I was mentioning this. It doesn't matter. It'll come to me or it won't. That's fine. We're going to roll with it today. Today's a very rolling with it kind of moment. Oh, I know I was talking about it. I had things that I wanted to accomplish today, but I've really been feeling the vibe that I wanted to sit down and record a podcast and just like hang with you. I just want to hang out with you. Is that okay? I just kind of like want to hang out with you for a little while. No, I'm not feeling under socialized. Sometimes it just flows through that I just want to sit down. So I'm here. My tasks are done. My Instagram post has gone up. And I was like, well, I don't actually have anything to talk about though. Like I don't have a topic pre-planned. I have no notes to follow. Like what the fuck am I going to talk about? I'm just going to sit there and like blather at a microphone for 20 minutes? Like that doesn't seem like a very valuable use of my time or your time. It'd be fun for me, but like you might be like, why are you telling me all these things? And then because the universe is always working in my favor all of the time, I am waiting for something to upload on Instagram. It doesn't matter what it is. Something's waiting to upload. And I happened across this video that just like it's from this account that I almost never see. I don't even know if I'm following this account, to be real. And it's this like video of a guy talking about lenses. All that said, I was curious. I was curious about like the content because basically like the idea is that you go to the doctor because your eyes aren't working so well. They give you glasses, and then over time your eyes get worse. They give you thicker glasses. Blah 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 blah. But the part that and then, like everything in my brain fucking lit up and just went, yes, that's the one. When he talked about basically that like you don't have to keep feeding the thing, right? Like what you pay attention to will grow and what you don't pay attention to will wither away. And that's what I want to talk about today. This has been something that's kind of like popped into my awareness and into my knowledge a few different ways over the last few weeks. So we know, you've probably heard, I think I've said it on the podcast a bunch of times, that what we focus on grows, right? Where we send our attention expands. We understand this. We talk about this a lot when it comes to manifestation as a general concept. We also talk about this a little bit in terms of like, hey, don't think those negative thoughts because they'll just like keep expanding. But I want to just maybe talk through this with you a little bit today and see where we land and see what kind of perspective shifts that I can share with you about this topic. So something really good to know. This is me. This is me grabbing myself in real time. Okay, so I'm just going to share my little moment. What I have noticed is that I have this tendency, I've been building this pattern and I'm not loving it. I've been building this pattern of saying some version of, you've probably heard this before, which is very curious to me. It is a way that I am stepping out of my sovereignty and I am like deflecting the value that I bring. The reason that I'm sharing this with you right now is I used to do a version of this when I was coaching my team through my job. I still do this when I'm working with like clients and stuff where I'm like, just a minute, I need to just rewrite that in real time. People would literally watch me shift my thoughts and shift my words, shift my actions, shift my reactions in real time because I wanted to always make sure that I was like paying attention and bringing forward the best, most authentic, most high value version of me. So I wanted to share that with you that like this is a pattern that I am in the process of releasing fully. So that brings me to neural networks. It's actually a beautiful tie-in. Our brain is, I don't know any of the numbers off the top of my head, but like countless thousands of different neural networks. And what happens is that there's this, I think I probably first heard this when I was like in biology in high school, but the phrase of like the neurons that fire together wire together. So really super fucking simple example to bring this together for you is like when you're in the process of learning something new, when you first are learning how to brush your teeth as a little child, when you're first learning how to drive, when you're first learning how to make your coffee on your fancy new coffee maker, you are activating and creating brand new neural networks. That's why it feels so hard. There's no pre-written script that your brain can follow. So at first, it always feels like a lot of efforting, right? Now people drive like, oh my God, now people don't pay attention at all when they drive, which is a whole other topic. I could go on for hours. We're not going to. But like it becomes autopilot. You can drive when you're super fucking tired. Don't recommend it, but you can do it, right? Because your brain understands what happens. And all of us have had this experience that you'll suddenly like completely not remember a section of the drive, a section of your day, whatever. Like you've just been operating on autopilot. Those autopilot moments are your neural networks in play. But while you're building neural networks, it's a lot of effort. It feels like effort. Okay. So when we're learning something new, for example, you're learning how to become aware of your thoughts. You're learning how to become aware of your actions. Maybe you've already learned, or maybe you're like, okay, I've got the awareness part down. I'm fucking nailing it. And oh my God, how have I functioned up until this point? How has anything that I've desired come into my life? Because I feel like there's a whole bunch of fuckery happening up in my brain, right? I definitely had that moment earlier on in my manifestation journey as well, where I'm like, oh my Jesus, I don't know how I've managed to accomplish anything in my life because there's nothing but negativity up there. So we have that moment, and then we intentionally set forth to create something better, create something more real, something that feels really good. We want to like really intentionally build our life. And that's what I'm talking about all the time. That's what building Fempires is all about. That's what everything that I've ever like put out is always about, building this intentional, joyful life. What happens is that at the start, and it's that growth curve, right? At the start, it feels like a lot of fucking effort. The first day or two, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. How could it possibly be this easy? Like, come on, this is where has this been all my life, right? Day 3, 4, you're less excited, but it's still not that hard. But then building that consistency and keeping like going, and especially keeping going when your conscious mind is like doing everything it can to scream at you that like, hey, look, this isn't working because nothing in your reality has changed yet, right? I don't know why. I'm very curious. I don't know why our conscious mind has this perception of like it needs to have changed immediately or it doesn't work. I, I'll learn that at some point. I'm sure somebody's doing a study on that. It'll show up somehow. But there's this like perception that if it's not changing super fast, then it's broken, then it's not working. Now, on the backside of that coin is also, I've seen a few different memes and reels and stuff about this, and it just makes me giggle. When people start their manifesting journey. Now, I do want to be very clear. Like, you are manifesting every fucking minute that you're breathing. Okay. So, like, it wasn't like, oh, I learned about this at 20 and that's when I started manifesting. Or I learned about this at like 15, or I learned about this at 4. No, you've been fucking manifesting since the second you were like popped out of your mama. Okay. You've just been doing it. The difference is, have you been intentionally manifesting or not? Right. So if you're here with me, you are into the intentional manifestation place. Welcome to the ride. It's a very exciting, very weird journey. So my train of thought is coming back to me. I promise you. I also guarantee you we're going to have a few of these in today's podcast episode. So when we're at the beginning of our manifestation journey and we're first like popping out and saying to the world, this is what I want. And the universe is like, okay, got it. This is what we want. Part of us says, oh my God, it's not happening overnight. And the other part of us says, like, life starts to fall apart all around you, right? I've shared the story of 2012 lots of times. I'm not going to share it again, but it's a great example that like I wasn't even aware at that point of like how much in my life needed to shift, but my desires were not aligned with what was existing in my life. So now I have the clarity to look back and go, oh, all right, that was the universe just doing its thing, going, well, this needs to go, and this needs to go, and that needs to go, and this needs to go. We've got a whole upgrade coming, folks. We got to tear everything out of here in order to make room for this. At the time, though, you're just like, oh my God, my life is burning to the ground. What the fuck is happening right now? So we have these sort of two kinds of experiences where one, we feel like our manifestations are taking a really fucking long time. Why isn't this happening overnight? What is taking so long? And the other where you start to see massive shifts, but all you're noticing is that it looks like everything's going sideways really fucking fast. And it's hard to recognize that as your manifestation being in progress, right? Now, here's what I want to talk about today, because we can go a million different directions, but we're coming back to this like sense of those like feet. Where are you feeding? What are you focusing on? Where's your attention and your energy going? It's to begin when we first start building in affirmations, when we first start the practice of meditation, when we first really like are actively practicing awareness, and we are actively like taking action on that awareness. It feels fucking exhausting because you are catching and capturing um, like well ingrained neural networks literally in process. If today, like let's say today, everybody in North America, all of our cars just some magical thing happened and everybody's car turned into a right-hand drive, okay? And all the roads change, everything changed. Like, you know how to drive, you understand the basics of what it is, but if we suddenly walked out and had to completely do things totally differently, oh my God, the accidents would be ridiculous, right? And it would like you'd come home for like a week, you'd come home absolutely just exhausted because it takes so much effort in order to do this thing that you've been doing all along, but now you've changed how you need to do it. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense. So you still have this neural network, but you have to rewrite this network. You have to adjust the code that is sitting behind it. Also, if there's like weird sounds in the background, that's possibly right now. I'm just going to grab a Kleenex because my nose is doing its thing. And you might have just heard the bag with my muffin, which is waiting for me to snack on it. And also I'm in like a squeaky chair and stuff. And I keep kicking the garbage can underneath the desk. Oh, this like working remote thing it's a whole experience. And you're joining me for the ride. So we are rewriting those neural networks. And over time, it will get easier, right? After a week, it starts to not feel so hard to drive as a right-hand drive. After 2 weeks, you're going to be back to like not even noticing a bunch of things. And after a month, it'll be as if you've always done it, right? But at first, it's going to feel really uncomfortable and like it's really hard. It's not hard. That's the one thing I want to really get across. It's not that it is hard, it's that you are operating in a way that isn't aligned with your current neural networks. And it might be easy to say, well, fuck it then. I'm just going to stay with like my original neural networks, which if you've heard me say this before, you've heard me say this countless times, you always have a choice. It is always 100% in your hands. You do not have to do anything that you don't want to. Okay? You don't even have to pay taxes if you don't want to. I mean, I don't recommend not paying your taxes because like it gets messy from a legal side of things. But like if you're like, well, I have to because the government requires me to. I'm just going to say there's lots of people who don't pay their taxes. I hope this episode isn't going to land me in hot water with like the IRS or the CRA that's like, Amy, you can't tell people not to pay their taxes. Okay, that's not what I'm saying here. My point is you always have a choice. So when it comes to shifting what we're doing, let's take something really simple. I'm going to, let's say that we are in the process of really learning how to, what's a super simple one? I'm trying to think of like something like ultra, ultra, ultra simple. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. So you're in the process of shifting your regular coffee habit. All right. So maybe right now you drink like 5 cups a day and you're like, this is not good for me. My heart is pounding out of my chest. I feel anxious. I'm not sleeping well, blah, blah. So you have made the decision. You've consciously made the decision to say, for my health and the betterment of my life and my ability to show up fully, I'm going to change this. Now, you've had however many months or years that you've been, having your 5 coffee a day habit, you now have that neural network in place. So when you change what you're doing, you're going to feel some friction and some resistance show up because your neural networks are expecting 5 cups of coffee a day. Now, this is in part why you'll see lots of things like recommending taking it a little bit at a time versus a total cold turkey switch. It's a little easier on your neural network. If you go from like 5 coffees a day to 4 coffees a day, like the first couple of days, your brain might be like, did we miss a coffee? Were we supposed to have another one? And then after like a week or so, it doesn't even notice. And so then you can go, okay, now I'm going down to 4 cups of coffee and then eventually down to 3 cups of coffee, right? Like you can do that. But let's say you just went, no, I'm fucking doing this cold turkey. I'm going from 5 cups of coffee to green tea, which please, please put everybody that like and love and you work with on notice if and when you're going to do that so that they understand why you're going to be a little grouchy and probably a little like crazy and moody for a little while, because that's a big change to your body, right? Physiologically, that's a huge change. You're massively changing the chemicals that you're putting into your body. All right. Never mind the neural networks that are like going, wait a minute, this is not us. We are a 5 cup of coffee a day person. We are not a person who drinks green tea only. All right. What happens is, there's some clunking in the background. I have no idea what's going on. So I'm feeling mildly distracted. What happens is we are actively shifting how we think. So here's another example. You've decided to be less self-critical. Now, setting aside the fact that, having a goal of, quote, be less self-critical is really unspecific and very hard to know whether or not you're succeeding on. Maybe your goal is to be more loving, which again is still as unspecific. Can you make it something more specific? Like every time I see myself in the mirror, I am going to pay attention to my thoughts. I'm going to stop any kind of negative or self-critical thought in the moment. And I'm going to intentionally and actively say something kind and loving to myself. All right. Those are, you can't see me, but I did my fingers like 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 super simple steps that you can do, right? They're very clear. It's tied to a very specific moment in time. The second you see yourself in the mirror, doesn't matter what mirror. If you want to get really specific and go, every time I see myself in the bathroom mirror, like you can do that. But basically, every time you catch the reflection of yourself in a mirror, you're going to pay attention to your thoughts. You're going to stop anything negative happening in the moment. You're going to stop that train, right? That's that neural network. That train, that thing that you're stopping is your neural network that you are literally going, hold it. Nope, no dice, man. You are not welcome to keep firing off. This neural network is done. And you are building a new neural network that is your positive thoughts. So what's really cool, and I wish I remembered the numbers, and I've read a few different versions of it, which is why it doesn't stick in my head super clear. It's something like, I think it's like 60 times or something, or 21, I can't remember exactly. I'm not even going to try to quantify it with a number. There's a certain quantity of times or days that you do a thing or you stop doing a thing, and your brain will start to change how it's built. So for example, the neural network that is built in place, that is what fires off every time you see yourself in the mirror and you think a negative self-criticizing thought, right? It's a program that's running in the background. You've been doing it so long, you don't even notice it. You've learned it from somebody else, right? Because you did not come out of your mama like hating on yourself. No, you fucking showed up and you're like, I'm amazing. Here I am. Feed me, clothe me, bathe me, love me. Make sure that like all my needs are taken care of, right? There was no thought in your mind as this sweet, like brand new little pumpkin going, like, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be greedy. No, you're just like, fucking give it to me. I'm a baby. Give me the things, right? There was no thoughts in your brain that there was anything wrong with you. You didn't look at your like sweet little baby hands and go, oof, my fingers are too fat. You didn't look at your legs and go, Jesus, would you look at the rolls in that thing? Right? No, you weren't going, okay, I can't respond to my hunger because I want to be very careful. I want to make sure that I still fit in my very cute baby jeans. No, you just responded to what you needed. All you knew was your body had this requirement for nourishment or love or a fresh diaper. And so you took action to make those things show up into your life. So these self-critical thoughts, you haven't had them your whole life. I know it's really easy to say, well, I've been like this my entire life, but you haven't though. And that's really good to know because once you remember that, it's not a matter of like learning this brand new. You're remembering that. You're like, oh yeah, you're right. That's true. I haven't always been this critical of myself because once upon a time I was this sweet little baby and everybody just loved me just for fucking showing up. I had to do literally nothing, right? Babies do absolutely nothing. They just show up and people love all over them. Unless you're somebody who doesn't like babies, in which case that's fine. The baby doesn't care. So you've built this habit over time that you believed you somehow you believe that it was doing you some good. It doesn't matter. We're not going to go into like what those potentials are, but there was a reason that you created that habit, created that pattern, and really strengthened that neural network. And my guess, in particular, for those of us of the female variety, is that that is a very, very strong, like super cut, could win all the fitness competitions kind of neural network, right? That neural network has been worked out to the nth degree. It doesn't need coffee. It doesn't need sleep. It doesn't need fucking anything. It can just go the second you even like catch a glimpse of like your elbow sticking out of like your bed sheets. You're like, oh my God, what is wrong with my elbow? Is that like some fucking stray hair sticking? That's so ugly. What was I thinking? Your neural network doesn't need any. It needs so little. It doesn't even need to see your body. You could just think about your body. And that super beefed up neural network is going to fire off and go, here's what we know. We know that we need to be self-critical and we know that we need to like hate on ourselves. That's what our neural network does. So it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And it's like heyday. It's the Arnie of your neural networks. And now you've decided, you, sweet you, lovely you, who's like, hey, this isn't really that great. It's not the funnest way to experience my life. I've decided that I'm actually going to be more loving on myself. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be more loving on myself. And your brain goes, oh, really? You're going to be more loving on yourself, hey? Okay, well, Arnold Schwarzenegger neural network shows up and says, here I am. Carry on. Have a great time loving on yourself. But I'm still going to hit the gym because I still got to keep my muscles going. So that initial, like, you're essentially dismantling, you're taking the power out of that neural network at first, but that's a really strong network. You have put a lot of time and energy and a lot of like investment into that network. So now you're changing it and that feels fucking hard, right? If you're not somebody who goes to the gym and you've decided today, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to be as ripped as Arnold Schwarzenegger, is not going to feel great. I'm going to tell you straight up, like it's going to feel hard and painful, and you are absolutely going to have many, many days where you struggle to climb the stairs, or it hurts to sit down on the toilet to go pee, or you can't lift a glass to your mouth because your arms are so tired and shaky, or the thought of brushing your hair is like, fuck that. I'll go as a rat's nest today because there's no way that I can make my hand go up to the top of my head with my brush. Like that's going to happen because you're building muscles. And we understand this when it comes to, you know, things like physical fitness. But I think we forget this, or maybe we don't know this when it comes to rewriting how our brain is working. When you are building new beliefs, when you're letting go of old beliefs, that's what you're doing. You're literally rewriting how your brain is working. And it's not hard, but it feels hard, right? Because you're pushing against. So I'm at this moment of feeling like, do I keep going? Because I feel like I might be talking in circles. Okay, I'm gonna finish this off with this. When you are, here's a really beautiful thing about your brain. Those neural networks are like a whole series of like I'm just going to say electrical impulses. There's more to it than that, but for the sake of today, we're just going to say electrical impulses. So there's this whole series of electrical impulses that fire off whenever that neural network gets like lit up, right? When you stop using that network over time, because your brain is really, really efficient, It's so efficient. That's how those networks got created in the first place. It saw something that you're doing over and over and over and over again. It went, oh, this is important. So to reduce the energy, right? Because it's really hard to like change it at first. To reduce the energy, it turned it into this pattern, a habit, a neural network. So at first, it feels hard not to engage, but actually what you're doing is you're just not sending energy into it. And over time, when your brain recognizes that that neural network isn't needed as much or at all, it will actually dismantle that network. It will take that network apart and it will redistribute the neurons, the energy, the call it the electrical wiring into different things. So part of that energy is going to get wired into whatever network you're building, right? Part of that may go to maybe you're strengthening something else. I don't know. But your brain is going to dismantle it. That's why, like, over time, if there's anything that you used to do that you're like, oh my God, I used to do that all the time. And now I don't even think about it anymore because you've dismantled that network. Your brain doesn't have a network for it anymore. And I bet if you wanted to start doing it now, it would take some effort to start doing it again, even though there was a time in your life that you just did it without even thinking, right? So these old neural networks, and I use the word old very specifically because your subconscious mind understands old as something that is no longer useful. I am not talking about age. I'm just going to clarify that. Okay? We're not talking about that. We're talking about how your subconscious mind understands language. So when it hears old, so when I talk about limiting beliefs, I talk about, oh, I have this old belief, or I had this old belief, right? It's old. It's telling my subconscious mind it's not needed. So you have these old neural networks. You stop feeding into them. You start feeding into something new. If you've ever like done any kind of construction, I don't care if it's been something as simple as just like hanging a picture on the wall, right? I guarantee somewhere in your life, you've seen a building getting built. Okay. It's super, super great to just like walk in when the house is all done or when the office is all done. But there's a lot of work that goes into it. At first, right? They're building the network. They're building the structure that we then operate within. Okay. When a new road gets built, it's not pretty. It's not like, oh, look, one day there was a field and now there's this beautifully paved road. No, it had to get torn up. The big heavy equipment had to come in. People with like fancy fluorescent vests and like super cute little plastic hats. They all had to come in with all their big machines. They had to rip the ground apart. They had to move things. They had to like bring new things in. They had to like roll over it a couple of times. They had to tell everybody else to slow the fuck down because like, hey, yo, we've got people working here. Like, stop being clowns. Like and then they slowly built it up. That's literally the process that your brain is going through. And you're like, why the fuck is this taking this so long? Why does this feel so hard? Why can't this be easier? Nobody says, why can't building that road be easier? Well, maybe some people say, why can't building that road be easier? But like, we understand that there is some dismantling and rebuilding required, right? Nobody's going to go, well, I just assume you're just going to lay pavement over top. No, we know that that's not how it works. Even if we don't understand how a road actually is built and we don't understand how a building actually is built, we understand that it's more than just like, well, just like lean a stick against a tree and then put like a sheet of drywall against it. Like that should be fine. Like we understand it's more than that, but we have this like lack of patience and lack of awareness when it comes to how our brains work and how our beliefs work. So just keep that in mind that like when it feels hard, when it feels like you're going fucking nowhere, you are in the process of rewriting, restructuring how your brain is functioning. And on those days that you're feeling just really fucking tired and you're just like, I am so 1,000,000,000% over this. Can't this be easier? Just remind yourself with a little bit of kindness. Amy told me that we got to do a little rebuilding. And that rebuilding sometimes takes a little effort, and that is okay, right? Okay, my love. I trust that this was a juicy episode. I really enjoyed recording this episode. We went a little bit differently than I thought. Well, I mean, let's be fair. I didn't have specific thoughts when I started recording this episode, and I have just loved sitting here and chatting with you. So, a couple quick reminders. If you have not yet, please, please, please leave a review of the podcast. Those reviews, as I am understanding, is really helping to expand the reach of the podcast. It tells the platforms, hey, this is something valuable, and it helps put it in front of more people. So I really would love your help with that. All right. So please leave a review. I would super appreciate it. If you loved this episode, if you like this episode, maybe if you were like, well, I didn't hate it, like share it out on the social medias. Put the word out, right? Send it to a friend. Help me get the word out with people. And if you do post it on social, drop a tag on me. All right. My handle for both Instagram and TikTok is at Amy Van Meel. Of course, the links are in the show notes for you. But tag me in. I'd love to hear what you think. And of course, if you haven't yet, and you probably haven't because I only told you about this like 30 minutes ago, get your buns registered for the next workshop. So our next one starts August 13th. When you register for the workshop, you'll get notifications, which is super helpful because our life is fucking busy. And also you get access to the replay page. So that's like super juicy. I had in my last workshop, someone said to me, and I love this. They're like, Amy, I'm so sorry. I had to jump out of the live. I was writing so many notes. I couldn't keep up. I'm actually just going to catch the replay so I can like pause and like make notes. When I bring a workshop, I fucking bring it. Okay. So I'm really excited. The next one, I was already telling my husband about it yesterday when he got home. Poor guy was so tired. And he was like, that sounds great, babe. Can I have my dinner now? And I'm like, okay, fine. So really excited about this workshop. To register, go to amyvanmeel.com/workshop. The link is, of course, in the show notes for you. And check out the upgrade package. All right. Those 3 tools are so unbelievably powerful. I don't put bad shit out. Okay. I make sure that like whatever I put out for you is really juicy and really helpful. Is going to help you create the life that you desire. Okay. I feel a cough coming on, so I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much, babe. See you for now. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following at Amy Van Meel or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.